welcome, Samuel.
Thank you, Chris.
You're probably the biggest guest so far now on the podcast since we started a few months ago.
Well, I love what you're doing. It's a really needed service. You know, a lot of people are moving over from the UK. A lot of people are wanting to invest in Dubai.
100%.
So they need some help and they need guidance. So it's great that you're doing what you're doing, and it just makes sense for you to have a podcast. So it's a pleasure to come on.
Yeah, thank you for being here. And you're on holiday as well, a business, a holiday. You're combining it, aren't you?
Kind of, yeah. I mean, it was initially supposed to be a bit of a holiday, but it turned into a business trip. So yeah, I've been back to back pretty much all week.
Yeah, and is it the first time in Dubai?
Nah, it's like the fifth time.
Fifth time?
Yeah.
So maybe, you know what happens in Dubai? You come here 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 times. Sometimes you all relocate here. You think you're going to relocate to Dubai one day?
I don't think so.
No? It's not a place for you to.
Well, I love Britain too much. I love the UK.
Nature and.
Well, yeah, and just the culture, the people, even the weather. I like being cold.
Yeah.
I don't like it too hot. When it's hot, I can't work. If it's cold, I don't get sleepy. I can be focused. So
Incredible.
I just love the UK, but I love Dubai as well. It's fantastic. I'm definitely looking to invest out here, but move out here, I don't think so.
But it's also nice to hear, because usually, like when you ask people, okay, people are coming here for a reason, but they want to relocate here because they're tired of living in their home country. But it's also maybe because they're unhappy, maybe business-wise, maybe it's money-wise.
The thing is, though, the grass is always greener on the other side, I think. So if you're not happy in the country that you're in, you're probably not going to be happy wherever you are.
It's true, actually, yeah. And the thing is, what people underestimate in Dubai, it's also not easy to do business. It's actually very, very hard because the competition is high and there's only like about 4 million people living here.
Yeah, exactly. I was talking to someone yesterday and they said, the average quality of life in the UK is terrible. And I said, wait on, let's look at the average person in Dubai. You might see all the, the top 10%.
Yeah.
The top 10% of people in Dubai make a lot more money than the top 10% of people in the UK.
Yeah.
But the bottom percent of people in Dubai make a lot less than the bottom percent of UK.
Yeah.
Well, the inequality is definitely there in Dubai, more than the UK.
100%. Yeah. So, yeah, just tell me, how do you get so? Because I know you since I don't know, 6, 7, I don't remember. But I had a book from from you as well. And even my mom knows you, so I'm born and raised in Germany, half British, but still you see the audience. And I think you were probably one of the first ones who really started this journey with the property investments and doing the courses and mastermind and books.
Yeah. Yeah, certainly the way that I do it, with the high energy, because it used to be quite a stuffy, like when I got started in property, there were some training programs and some networks, but it was very stuffy.
Yeah.
Suits and, old men in suits and things like that. So yeah, no, that's great. It's great that you've been aware of me for so many years and the fact that your family own stuff like that. And I love what I'm doing. It's a lifestyle, I invest in property. I've got hotels. I've got all kinds of different buildings, and some are beautiful, some are very ugly, but they all make money. And then I've got my training company as well. Mm-hmm. So, and a lot of my students are investing in Dubai.
Really?
And some of them are moving here.
So
and they need help.
Okay, well, did you help them to invest in Dubai? Oh, yeah.
No. I don't know what to say to them. I don't know how to help them because I don't know all the technicalities around laws and so if people want to move, I teach them how to find good deals, negotiate, work out return on investment, manage builders, have a business brain, and then I've got students all over the world. But some of them are moving to Dubai, a bunch of them.
Wow, interesting. But how did you get into the space of real estate? Is it always as a child, you were interested in real estate and renovating properties, HMO and stuff?
No, not really. When I was a teenager, I worked on a building site just doing plastering. So I guess that was my first experience of being in property, which was just, and the builder of the project was telling me how much money the investor was going to make. Oh, he's making so much. And I just thought, that sounds like a good business. And then I read Rich Dad Poor Dad. And then I went into some networks and joined Property Investors Network, BNI, Business Network International, got around investors and realized that actually doesn't seem too difficult.
Yeah.
Buying a house, renting it out, being a landlord. I can do that.
But how many years back was that then when you really...
That was about 17 years ago.
17 years ago, yeah.
Yeah. That was when I bought my first house. And then just continued buying more and more properties. And then... Yeah, I made a lot of money.
And then, but how did you come into the space? Okay, now I'm like you're an entrepreneur, and then you want to give your value back to other people. How did that idea come? Did you have a mentor or saw someone on Google? Because YouTube did it exist? No, not really, yeah?
It did, but there wasn't really people there, like videos like they do now. Now, what happened actually, Chris, was when I was starting my business and as I started to get successful, my background, I'm Christian, and my church, the people in my church, I felt quite judged by a lot of people in my Christian community because the idea of making lots of money, it was seen as a bit dirty. So after I became a millionaire, I set up a community called Training Kings, which was for Christian business entrepreneurs, because I wanted to encourage and inspire and endorse people that wanted to be in business, but maybe had a chip on their shoulder, feeling like they were doing something a bit naughty and they needed to just get some, I needed that support. So that's why I started setting up my own. And then the people would ask, can you teach us a bit about business? Can you teach us a bit about investments? And every time I talk about property, people would go and buy houses. And I thought, well, this is really working. So that was when in 2016, I set up my property education company and started teaching property as a.
Do you do everything yourself, or do you have a company or agency or some advice to build it up?
I've always got mentors. I've got people that I bounce ideas off. I've got a mentor for everything. I've got a fitness coach. I've got a spiritual mentor. I've got a business mentor, property mentor. I've always believed in the power of, because the best investment you can make is not property, it's yourself.
Yourself, yeah.
It's yourself. It's your mind. It's your education. So even up to this day, I still have mentors. So yeah, I've had many, many, many mentors. Too many to count.
And do you love what you're doing in the end? You think it's because of the money, or is it also passion behind it? Because you made enough money. You can retire if you wanted to, couldn't you?
Yeah, I could do. I think that when you're an entrepreneur, you can't really stop working. When you're born to succeed and to build businesses, because I did retire when I was 25, I sort of semi-retired and got married. We had a child, but I was just bored and I wanted to. So do I love what I do? I think so. At times it's hard, but yeah, I love. For me, it's life. Like I come to Dubai on holiday, and then I'm still sat here with you. Why am I sat here with you right now? Because
you wouldn't. You have to do it. You could just sit here.
Yeah, I'm not being paid to be here. But you messaged me, and I thought, oh, this is like an interesting guy. I'd rather sit and have a conversation with you and learn about your business, than just be at home or in my hotel room playing dominoes. Cool. My mind likes to be active, and I like to learn and grow and read and think and work, and I think that's just the makeup of being an entrepreneur.
You think it's because you have family, a wife, a child, you think it also can become an addiction, like a drug of working too much and not being there for the family?
No, well, they're not going to complain, are they? Because they're lay here with me.
Yeah, you can take it on your journey.
Exactly. So yeah, we're staying at one of the most beautiful hotels in the world. We've got a private pool, a private infinity pool. We've got a butler, we babysitters, a nanny who we've actually not had to use because the baby's so good. But my family, and I spend a lot of time with my family. Most people that are working 60 hours a week in a normal job, they'll leave the house at 7:38 in the morning. They'll get home at 7:38 in the evening, and they're knackered. That's not me. I'm full of life and playing with my kids and going out, and my wife and my family, they're part of my business. So I don't feel like it's unhealthy at all.
How did you meet your wife?
I met my wife a long time ago now. We've been married now 10 years. I met her at a wedding and I saw her. It was an African wedding, Zimbabwean Ghanaian in the UK. And I saw her and I just asked her, she wanted to go out on a date. And we went out on a date, and then within 3 months we were engaged, and we got married within about 9 months of meeting. And we've been married now for 10 years. We've got 4 kids, and it's the best thing I ever did. We've never had a single fallout or argument. Marriage is bliss.
Without the you think you would be there where you are now? She's a big influence.
It's difficult to know what my life would look like if I wasn't married, because I am married and I've been married for many years. When I got married, I was already doing property and stuff. I've been in the business for about 5-6 years. I'd built up a £1 million property portfolio. I was doing pretty decent financially, but it was probably 1% of where I'm at now. And I definitely credit my wife for helping build that and supporting me through it. She's, you know, she's my rock. She's my right arm. So yeah, she's been a massive help and support, and also a big reason for doing what I do. You know, I'm not going to sit here and say that the reason I have a business is because of my family, because it's not. I had a business before I had a family, but it is a motivation. It is a motivation to be able to give the best life for your kids and to be able to leave a legacy. And, you know, it's definitely a motivation.
You drink alcohol?
Yeah.
Yeah. Like a lot, or you just like enjoy the taste?
Not a lot. I don't get drunk.
Yeah.
I don't drink when I'm working.
Yeah.
So for example, if I'm like, I've not drank today, even though I'm on holiday, because I got this podcast.
Yeah. You focus.
Be in control.
Yeah. In control of the
focus. But yeah, on a weekend, if I've got a Sunday off, completely off, and I'm not working, and yeah, I'll have a beer, I'll have a glass of red wine, I'll have a bit of whiskey. But I'm not a big drinker. I'm not like, I could take it or leave it.
And I saw you also invested something in Africa.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes.
You go a lot. You fly out, of course, because your wife's from Africa, and
yeah, she is. Yeah. I don't know which investment you're talking about, because we've got investments, but we do a lot of charity stuff out there. So we built schools. Last year I built a hospital ward.
Wow.
64 units. That was in Uganda. We've got a family home in Zimbabwe. And yeah, I'm massively at home when I'm in Zimbabwe.
But what's the feeling like to give something back to people, like say the poor people who have nothing, and to kids? Is it do something with yourself?
Yeah, not really. I mean, my philosophy has always been, this is why when you asked me about the UK, I said I love the UK, I love Britain, because one of the things that really irritates me is when people complain about stuff. Mm. If you see something you don't like, you either should fix it and do something about it, or you should not, or you should just be quiet. So the reason I built a hospital ward in Uganda was because when I was in Uganda on a trip, I broke my leg.
I saw that. Yeah.
And I spent a lot of time in hospital in Uganda. And there was things that I wanted to complain about, because there was things that weren't good. But instead of complaining, I put my money where my mouth is, and I built a hospital ward. Same as the schools that I built in Uganda. I think it's, if you see a problem, why aren't there schools? Why aren't they teaching financial literacy? Why aren't they, instead of complaining about it, do something about it? And that's why it irritates me when people complain. So does it make me feel really good? Not really. I just do what needs to be done. If I see a problem, or if I see a need, or if I see a gap, whether it's a gap in the market, whether it's a gap, just a social responsibility to do something, then I'll do something about it if I can. And if I can't do something about it, then I won't complain about it. I'll keep quiet.
But it's only because you can do it, because you work so hard. With the money, you can do it. You can help.
Yeah, it's because of my businesses that have done so well, and not just because I've worked so hard, but because I've got a great team, and I've been smart, and I've got in and done things at the right time, and I've been blessed. Everybody works hard, and I don't think that hard work means you'll be rich. I think it's about doing the right type of work, and being smart and having good people around you. But yeah, I wouldn't be able to build the schools and the hospital wards and everything that we do if it wasn't for my business. And if you've been blessed, then you have to be a blessing. You know,
that's nice.
And if you've been fortunate, then you should give a helping hand to the less fortunate. I think that's super important. Not to become money obsessed, but to actually remember that money is a tool, and we come into the world with nothing and we leave with nothing, and we're just stewards in the meantime. So I think it's really important that you're generous and a good steward with what you have. That's really important.
The money is a tool, and you're using for business, helping people also having a good life, yourself with a family.
Exactly.
So you like to enjoy, like I said, you're saying in one of the best hotels in Dubai. Yeah. You could have stayed in in a normal standard hotel.
Yeah.
And saved more money.
But I'm a both person. People say to me, would you rather be a family man or a businessman? Both. Would you rather be a Christian and be a man of God, or be a property investor and own hundreds of houses? Both. Would you rather stay at luxurious hotels and live a real good, high life, or build hospitals and schools across Africa? Both. Instead of saying this or this, I'd rather say and. You know? So, and also taxes. I pay a lot of taxes as well, but I don't mind paying taxes. Obviously, I'm going to be smart and I'm going to try and save, what I can reasonably. But people that are making a lot of money should not be so angry about having to pay taxes. Pay your taxes. If you want to be able to go to hospital when you break your leg, if you want to be able to drive on the road and not on the dirt, pay your taxes. Everybody complains about that. I know in Dubai the setup's a bit different, which is interesting.
Yeah, you also pay taxes, or you pay different taxes in different ways. So you still pay money, but you're seeing it's going into the country as well. Yeah. You're using it to prove things.
Yeah, and also in Dubai, everything's very expensive.
Yeah, what's the good topic? Immigration in UK. World is changing, huh?
Yes.
So what do you think about immigration? All the asylum seekers moving to the UK. I watch a lot on YouTube. When you compare it to the UAE have a system. You can't just come here on the boats. It's like you have a visa, and if you don't work and you don't do anything, you're out of the country.
Yeah.
That's why it's so safe here.
Yeah, well, I think firstly, when you talk about immigration, there's of course people coming on boats illegally.
Yeah.
And then there's immigration, which is going through correct channels. So there's different types of immigration. But it kind of, I actually think it's quite mad when I see people complaining about immigrant people coming into the UK, taking our jobs, getting all annoyed. For many reasons. Number one, if people are coming from Poland and taking your job, and English is their second language, and they're coming in with no qualifications, taking your job, you're pretty rubbish. Don't complain, get better. That's the first thing.
That's a good point.
Yeah.
It's
if you're coming taking your job, you're rubbish.
Yeah.
Oh, the Polish people coming and the people from India, right? If they're coming taking your job just because they're really qualified, they're really trained, like the doctors, good. We need more doctors. Like, to be getting upset, like, it's really mad. If you go to hospital in the UK and you need surgery and you've been treated by an excellent doctor who's from India, you're going to be complaining for. So it kind of irritates me when people complain about immigration. I get illegal immigration, of course. I get that. But generally speaking, my wife is an immigrant.
Yeah.
She's from Zimbabwe. So if we didn't have immigration, we
wouldn't be with her as well, huh?
Most of my tenants and customers and investors, not most, but a big percentage of them are immigrants. And another thing is this, people that get upset about immigration. Oh, people coming to England. They're often immigrants themselves. It's like, if England suddenly, there was a big war, they'd want to be free to go to America. They'd want to be free to go to Germany. If they were told, no, I know there's a war in England, but you have to stay, but you're English, stay in England. But people, their life and their children were at threat. They'd want to leave. So they don't want a free pass to travel the world and think, oh, well, I'm English, I can travel wherever I want. But no one can come here. So, it kind of irritates me when people complain about immigration. Now, what I do think is, if you move to a country, respect the rules of the country. I'm in Dubai right now. If I wanted to move to Dubai, I'd need to learn Dubai rules. I'd need to follow the laws. I'd need to respect the culture. So I do think if you're coming into the UK, make an effort. Learn to speak the language, add value. And of course, people come into the country and being leeches on society and claiming benefits and not bringing any value. Yeah, of course, that's a drain on society. So 100%. But I think generally speaking, some of my best investors, best members of staff, best ladies I've ever met, i.e. my wife, are people that have come into the UK. I think they make it better. Add some multiculturalism.
But are they, like, say, legal or illegal immigrants?
They have to be legal. If they're illegal, okay, here's my thoughts on illegal immigrants. If you're coming into the country and you're illegal,
on a boat, for example, tunnel.
I think we need strict borders.
Yeah.
But I also think that we can't be treating people, human beings, like cockroaches. So I think it's very complex, and I'm glad that I'm not the Prime Minister and don't have to make the call. If someone's having a war across the ocean and they're going to die and they come on a boat, you've got to have a bit of compassion. But at the same time, we can't just say, like I've seen the videos where people are campaigning for let everyone in the UK, let everyone in the UK, and then they're told, would you let us stay at your house? Oh, I haven't got space. So of course we need borders, absolutely. We need order, law and order, absolutely. But we also need compassion, and we also need to stop being hypocrites and stop being useless and blaming everything bad that happens on immigrants. Because it's like, well, you at least need to look at the data. So, yeah, I love people coming into the UK. If anyone's watching this podcast and they're from France or Germany, Sweden, Switzerland, Africa, Asia, America, and you want to come to the UK, come, but bring your skills, work hard, make the UK better.
But if they don't make it better and then bring, like, say, more crime, hasn't the crime has gone up?
Then deport them. If someone comes...
Yes, but the countries don't deport them.
Well, I think they should. I think if
that's a big issue, isn't it? Not just UK, it's other countries. They should. Germany, for example.
Yeah, if I went to Dubai and then I started messing around and breaking rules and then you're
out. You're out.
Oi,
and you never come back.
Yeah, that's fine. And that's fine. So yeah, no, listen, I'm not. Of course, I think people need to, give value and work hard. But I just think there's a lot of hate at the moment on immigrants, on Muslims, on people
making a bad picture, aren't they?
Yeah,
and it's things are not true sometimes.
Well, yeah, people generally speaking like people like them, don't they? So if you're a particular race from a particular area or region, we're tribal human beings with tribal instincts. So it's easy to blame the boogie monster. Oh, it's the Muslims' fault. It's the immigrants' fault. It's that. But no, and it's not healthy. It's not healthy. I think what's much more healthy is to take personal responsibility and to say, actually, I am going to create my own life. I'm going to blame the immigrants. I'm going to, fine, if you've got an opinion, vote in a certain way, no problem. But don't be moaning about how terrible the boogie monster of immigrants are, or the Prime Minister. I hate Keir Starmer. It's like boring. You hate Keir Starmer. I mean, firstly, wanting your Prime Minister to fail is like wanting the pilot of your plane to get out, right? So going on about, I hate Keir Starmer, he's horrible. It's like, okay, what good is that going to do?
Yeah.
He's our leader.
Yeah.
He's our Prime Minister. And also, have some respect, man. That's my opinion. Have some respect for your leaders. Have some respect. You might not agree with your leaders. And if you don't, and the stuff that I don't agree with, there's leaders and campaign, protest. Do you think, but this whole moaning and blaming and using it as an excuse for your lack of results and lack of success is, I think, what's really damaging and toxic. And it's better to just say, you know what, I'll create my life. I'm going to, and if it's too busy in London and I don't like it because it's getting a bit crowded, move to Buckinghamshire. And I live in Beaconsfield, beautiful. It's 20 minutes on the train to Marylebone. And where I live is surrounded by fields and sheep and horses. And so if you're saying London's overcrowded, just move. Oh, I can't afford it. Well, get better then. Stop blaming immigrants and stop blaming. That's my opinion. I'm quite strong on it. But then I'm biased because I'm married to an immigrant and I have loads of investors and staff and whatever. But that's generally my opinion on immigration. Do we need borders? Yes.
Do you think it's going to happen? Like in USA or Trump?
What about Trump?
With the borders around? You think it's a good idea what he's doing?
I like what Trump's done about the gold card. £5 million to buy yourself a citizenship. That's going to pump money into the country. I think it's very complex. I think that there's no necessary right or wrong. We need borders, definitely.
Do you think it's going to happen in the UK?
Borders?
Yeah.
Well, there is.
Well, there's border. Anyway, you can't get into the country without the walk. You know,
if you come on boats, you get sent back. It's not like people who just come. People slip through the cracks.
Yeah.
That's everything. People exaggerate it.
Yeah.
Oh, people are just coming in boats. No, they're getting sent back. Yeah. They're getting deported. It's illegal. You can't have, anyway, I don't want to continue talking about it because I'm done. But I think yeah, we need borders, yes. However, take personal responsibility, stop moaning like a little bitch, and stop being a victim, and don't try and, like, who was it this, I think it was, I can't remember the president of America a long time ago, but he said,
Biden?
He said, what did you say? What did you say?
Biden?
No, not Biden. No, long ago. Anyway, I remember the quote. He said, don't ask, what can my country do for me? Instead, ask, what can I do for my country?
True.
And I think at the moment,
Point.
it's not just the immigrants.
It's everyone.
Who's like, take. Everyone's got this take. Oh, I want England to be like this, and and it's like, what can you give? You know? Be a servant. Serve. No one wants to serve anymore. No one's going, very few people now are going and serving at food banks and actually helping. Everyone just wants to just take. So I think there's a problem in people's mentality.
That's a good point, actually. You hear that very seldom, actually, to be honest. But can you imagine yourself, you say you're very happy in the UK to live all your life with your family as a main in the UK?
Absolutely. I love the UK.
Yeah. What's so special about the UK? Is it like, as you mentioned, the greenery, the trees, the animals, your family's there, you like the weather, the different kinds of weather. What makes it so special? Because you really hear really seldom, maybe because I'm in the business of helping people to relocate to another country.
Yeah.
So all these
Don't get me wrong, Dubai is phenomenal.
It spoils you. Dubai spoils you. It spoils you.
Let me tell you something about Dubai. I came to Dubai for Christmas a few years ago.
Yeah.
Christmas Day.
First time? And
I've been here quite a few times.
Yeah.
I was staying at the Burj Al Arab.
Yeah.
At the time, before they built the Atlantis Royal, was definitely the best hotel in Dubai. Probably the best hotel in the world, 7-star hotel. Yeah. Can't remember how much I was spending a night, but it was a lot. And I was here on Christmas Day.
Yeah. People double, there's 10 times the price.
Oh, beautiful.
Yeah.
Beautiful, right? And all I wanted was a nice Christmas dinner. Yeah. Roast potatoes, Yorkshire puddings.
They have it.
Couldn't get it. I'm like,
that was a couple of years back.
That was a few years ago.
Yeah,
2018.
But it's changed now.
This is it.
Yeah.
That's it.
Yeah. Now it's like you hear it's like Western country. Christmas is so big.
Is it?
It's just,
mate, they didn't even know what Yorkshire pudding was. So it's funny, my chef, who's from Zimbabwe, who works full time in England, I asked him for some Yorkshire puddings. I said, he made a roast dinner. I said, where's the Yorkshire puddings, man? And he was like, what? I said, Yorkshire puddings. I need Yorkshire puddings. And he's like, okay, next time. And then next Sunday, no Yorkshire puddings again. And I'm thinking, I specifically asked for Yorkshire puddings. What's going on? I need to have a word with this guy. Don't want to be a dick or anything, but I need my Yorkshire puddings. Then he goes, pudding is ready. And he bought Yorkshire puddings as a dessert because he bought a pudding here. It was a dessert. So I was like, dude. But yeah, so no, I think the food in the UK, like Yorkshire puddings. I think the culture. I love
beer, pubs.
Not
people.
Not even the beer in the pubs. In the UK, how can I describe it? People are straight talkers. In America, everybody's a bit fake.
Yeah, fake. That's true.
Whereas in the UK, you call a spade a spade. I can talk straight to my staff, my investors, straight, and they just get it. And I like the way people talk. I like this different seasons. You know, you've got the summer, the winter, the autumn, the spring. I like the crispness. Sometimes I miss like right now in the UK, because it's like April, isn't it? So it's sunny, but you've got that slight crisp kind of. So listen, I'm biased. It's because for me it's home, but I love it, and I love the greenery. If you go up on a plane, you look down, it's just beautiful. I love how neat it is. I love how everything's neat and orderly. It's pretty clean, not super clean, depending on where you are in the UK. And if you think the UK is a dump, probably because you just live in a bad part of the UK. So instead of saying, oh, the UK is terrible, make a bit more money, move into a slightly nicer area, suddenly maybe you'll change your perspective on everything.
That's a true point.
Yeah. But that's the same anywhere, isn't it? Like in Dubai, I'm sure there's some absolute spots.
Yeah, of course. There's like poorer areas where you don't drive to. Most of the people, like say the tourists, they like you in Palm Jumeirah, you have GBR downtown, the nice areas. Yeah. Tourists mostly don't see like the poorer areas in the background, you know.
But I do love Dubai. I was this morning. I was just walking down the beach with my wife and just saying, this is heaven. It's just perfect. They've got everything. You've kind of got you've got the beaches and the palm trees of Miami or California, but then you've also got, it's so clean, like in California, a lot of homeless.
Exactly. Not clean, it's dirty.
At all. Here is spotless. I mean, I was scared to even had like the tiniest little wrapper. And I was like, oh,
the camera will get you.
I ain't buying that. It was funny. It was the size of my thumbnail.
Yeah.
But I thought, I ain't dropping this on the floor. I'll probably end up in prison or something. Yeah. I don't know the laws in Dubai, but I did want to.
Yeah.
But there was also bins everywhere. So it's you know, so but you can get anything you want. The customer service is fantastic. Food is great. You just get whatever you want. There's great people here. I must have had, I don't know how many, but countless invitations to. In fact, I'm even doing a dinner because I was getting.
I saw that. Yeah.
There's so many people were messaging.
Is that he booked? Yeah, it's fully booked.
Oh yeah, it's fully booked because so many people were messaging me and saying, "I want to meet with you," and lots of people wanted to do podcasts like yourself. After I agreed to this one, I must have had 10 others, and I'm like, man, I'm on holiday, so
I'm lucky.
Well, no, glad to meet you. I'm looking to meet you. But that was why I just decided to do the dinner, and it's completely sold out. So we're going to be meeting at the Royal Atlantis. We're going to be going to Nobu on the beach. So we're going to be at the beach, about 25 people, and just getting to know everybody. So because that would have been 25 people over one evening is fine, but if I'd have met everybody individually, that would have been a whole week taken over. But people are flying out as well. Crazy.
Well, can you have this is the thing? These opportunities, these networking opportunities. You think you have that in UK? In a way, like here? Meeting these people, just suddenly making this. 2 days ago, I think you posted you're doing this for £500 or something event.
Well, I heard about it. It went up to 750.
Okay, 750, you know? So would you have that in UK?
Oh, bro. I do dinner every month in the UK and I have 500 people.
Okay, everyone knows you in the UK. You're so famous in the UK in the end, yeah? But still the opportunities here.
Well, we'll find out how good the opportunities are after the dinner and see who these people are. I mean, but
they want to see you. They want to connect with you because they want to get information from they're looking up to you. That's why they want to meet with you, dine with you.
Yeah, or they want to see if there's synergy for business or whatever. I guess what your question is, would Dubai be a better place to start a business than the UK? Is the networking, the business opportunities better in Dubai or the UK? And I would say the answer is Dubai is definitely good. It would depend on the business. I think if I was to do a property training, like I do in the UK in Dubai, I can imagine it being quite successful.
Yeah, 100%. You have the audience, yeah?
I can imagine being quite successful. But I'm too busy, man. I'm in the UK. I'm in the UK so much.
For Gran Cardone, you went to Gran Cardone, I think, a couple of years back.
Yeah.
I saw that video. Yeah. And I also he was 3 months back. He was here. I also went to the seminar it was so full. You can't imagine.
Yeah.
People, they were fighting because there was something wrong with the tickets. You know, so no one could get in. Like half of them got in, and we were fighting. I want this ticket. I paid for it. Get me in, you know.
Oh, that's awful.
They were fighting. You can't imagine so many people. There wasn't any free. I got in because I am the real estate, work with real estate. So I went through a different contact, the developer there. They sponsored the event, Bengati. So I went in, but after everyone else got in as well. But it was easy.
So many in Dubai then. See how many.
Really unbelievable.
You can't do in Dubai. Because I think that I've got a lot of students that do stuff in Dubai and all over the world. Because if you know how to do a deal, you know how to do a deal.
Yeah.
It's kind of, and even in the UK, the laws are different from London to Birmingham you're from Liverpool, right?
Born and raised in Germany, my family from Liverpool.
Right.
Yeah.
So if you're doing a deal in Liverpool or you're doing a deal in Germany, you'll need to learn the differences in the rules. So do you need a license? There's, what's the crack? Can you get a mortgage? But going from Liverpool to Germany might feel like a big jump. Yeah. But going from Liverpool to Birmingham is a big jump because the rules are different.
Yeah.
So wherever you are, you need to know what the planning permission, licenses, it's the same stuff. So if I'm teaching people in the UK, I'm telling them these are the things you need to check, but it kind of applies worldwide. So that's why now I do have students. I'd say probably 80% of my students are from the UK, but even when I do a program in the UK, it's a crash course. bro, people flying all over the
Yeah,
world.
okay, imagine, because they trust your expertise.
But they're coming for one day. They come for the.
I was also, years back, I was also planning to go to your crash course, and, but I didn't book. I don't know why I didn't book it. But I was.
You were from Germany. It's like a bit of a trip, right?
Probably, yeah. My family all in Liverpool, my uncle and aunties and stuff. But I was planning to book. I don't know why I didn't book it, but I was there, Yeah.
But you're doing well still. So, well, people come from all over. And it's mad. So I think that the world, that's the thing when people are, I see myself as a global citizen. Yeah, I'm based in the UK, but I'm ready to, and I love the fact that the world has become such a small place with the internet, with transportation. Think of it years ago when we didn't have planes, we didn't have the internet, we didn't even have cars.
Yeah.
If you wanted to travel somewhere, you'd have to go on a horseback. Couldn't email, you'd have to send a letter, send someone to go and deliver a letter. Absolutely mad. The opportunities for business.
This is amazing, huh?
It's so cheap. Since I started in business, do you know what's interesting, Chris? When I started in business in like 2009, 2008, that kind of time, I remember thinking I need a website. Went to a business networking meet and I'm like, I need a website. And they were quoting me like $2,000, $3,000. I think I managed to get it done for £1,000. And I thought that was a good deal. Now you can just do it yourself for free.
Yeah.
On Wix.
Yes.
But that's not, I need a logo. I paid about, when I was like 18-year-old kid, I paid about £400-500 to get someone to design my logo. Now you just go on Fiverr and get someone to do it for £5. If you want to go and do business in Dubai or here or there, everything's just so accessible. It's an incredible time to start a business. So this nonsense about how difficult it is.
Yes, 1,000 times easier.
It's so much easier.
There's so much options,
Where's
isn't it?
more in the world? Unless you're in a country that's a communist country, which the UK is not, Dubai is definitely not. The opportunity is so easy, so doable.
100%.
I see there's a lot of people that have got money as well. Because if you're in an environment where everybody's poor and you're in a poor area and everyone's poor, you might be thinking, how am I going to sell deals? How am I going to do? But you've got to move environment. You've got to stop hanging around people that got a bit of money, whether that's moving to Dubai or whether that's doing just going to London. Like, move out of your area. You're in a crappy little village in some council estate where you were born and raised, and everyone goes to the pub and goes and watches the football, and they've all got disposable income of £55 a month. Move, get around rich people. Because if you're around rich people, if you can just find a product or service that they want and get good at delivering it, get good at marketing, get good at selling, and then deliver reputation, anyone can get rich.
100%.
I really believe that. I think it's just, not everyone will, but everybody can. I think it's just about knowing what to do, knowing the steps. And I think that's the solution as well. People are talking about how bad the economy is, and the solution is to tax the rich, or to hope the government do something, to hope the government stop the immigrants coming and taking our jobs. No. Get better.
Yeah.
Don't wish it were easier, wish you were better.
Yeah.
As Jim Rohn says, don't wish for less problems, wish for more skills.
100%.
You become more valuable, the money will have to follow. Albert Einstein said, don't try and get more money, try and create more value, because the money will follow the value. So that's kind of like my core philosophy in business.
Yeah. And you were doing a podcast, with Andrew Tate on Monday or Tuesday, yeah? So how did that come? You know since a couple of years already?
No, for years, man. I've known Andrew Tate since, I first did a podcast with him in, I think it was 2021.
Yeah. But he wasn't that big.
No, he wasn't. When I first met with him, I think that I was bigger than him.
Where did you meet him? In the UK then?
I met him in the UK, yeah.
Yeah.
When I very first met him, I think that, I don't know. I don't remember exactly how big or...
Was that in your castle, in your house, the interview?
No, I met him. Where did I meet him? I think it's a studio in London. And I think I saw some of his videos, and I went on his Instagram, because this was way before he was banned or anything. And I think he was following me on Instagram already, or we chatted a little bit on Instagram. And then I asked him, I just said, oh man, can we do a podcast? And we met, and we had a bit of a disaster because his car broke down. I had to go pick him up, and he was in some big fancy sports car. I'm not very good with cars, so I didn't know what car it was, but it's a disaster. And the funny thing is, we sat down to the podcast. Andrew Tate's so funny, because he was basically just like, I don't really want to do this podcast. So got him down, got all the equipment, and sat down with him. And he was just like, yeah, I don't really want to do this, but madness. And then we just chatted for a bit, and then he just left. I was like, damn. So I got like 20 random minutes of like and I thought, hell, man, this is mad. Interesting guy, cool guy. And then, because he had the problem with his car and that, and it's going sorted. It was just, and then I said to him, bro, you owe me, man. We need to meet again. And he's like, yeah, cool. And then he blew up then, just after that, started blowing up on the internet. And I said to him, bro, I need to get you back on. So he came down and we did a, but this time when he came with like security and everything. You could really see the difference. And he came on podcast, and that blew up. We had like 7 million.
Wow.
Views.
7 million views. But that was when? In 2 years back or one?
That was in 2022.
Yeah.
This was the first podcast. I never even released it. I released it much later, but so anyway, that blew up. And I was like really grateful to him, to be honest, because when he came that time on my podcast, like he was massive, and he didn't charge me and he's really cool, and he came met with me and he was helpful. And then we stayed in touch. He was giving me tips on like losing weight and sending me stuff over, and just cool guy, man. And I felt like I owed him because that video got so many views. I think even to this day, I think it's the most viewed video on my entire channel, and I've been running that channel, how many years. So I felt like I owed him a little bit, really, for coming on. As I say, he didn't charge me. A lot of people think, they were like, oh, how much did you have to pay him? I'm like, no, man, he just, and then we sort of stayed in touch then, but he went to prison just after that podcast. And that was when he really kind of got like a lot of heat. And he was in prison and house arrest. And I'm a strong believer in innocent until proven guilty. I think it's really important that we don't judge people just because of an allegation. And people are so unsmart that they don't know the difference between an allegation and a crime. So I could literally say that you punched me in the stomach. I could contact the Dubai police right now and say I was with Chris and he punched me in the stomach. And then that could go in the newspaper and it would say, it could be a complete lie, and it would say, Chris Elliott allegedly punched Samuel Leeds in the stomach. If I read that in the newspaper, allegedly, I'd be thinking, well, that's not a story.
Yeah.
If it's just being said by one person, sometimes when it's just allegedly, it's from an anonymous source. So I could literally tell the newspapers, Chris Elliott punched me in the stomach, and now I've got broken ribs and it's terrible. Could you please print a story about it? But don't name me. So it's anonymous source, and that was in the papers.
Yeah.
Right? So I definitely am a strong believer in, unless someone's actually been convicted of something, you can't accuse someone of being guilty. So obviously there's a lot of bad allegations around Andrew, but and a lot of stuff that he says is wild. Like even the immigration stuff that I said, he wouldn't have the view I have, But just because someone might have different opinions in certain areas, and just because he's been accused of some really bad crimes, but not found, so people get upset with me for interviewing him. But I'm thinking, well, actually, he's doing me a favor because he's coming on my channel, and he's one of the most famous people on the planet, and he's not charging me.
Crazy, actually. Yeah, it could be a person. You say, if you want me, there's enough people on there that are charging 10, 30, 30, 40, $50,000.
The rest. So same with Grant Cardone. Grant Cardone, come on my channel many times. He's not charging me anything. Just come on. And of course, they're talking and they want to get their message out there. So yeah, so Andrew's cool. I'm meeting up with Tristan as well on Saturday. So I'm doing a podcast with Tristan, God willing. That should happen. And they're obviously around. But yeah, it was a good podcast. But he does, he's got some very strong views on stuff. But you know what? If you can sit and listen to a podcast with someone that you don't even agree with, I think it just can make you think.
Yeah.
And then you can start thinking it, and that's only a good thing. And everybody should have the freedom to say their opinion.
Yeah.
Unless you're saying something that is, there's a bomb and there's not a bomb. If you're deliberately saying, but if you're saying things that your opinion, people then can think and challenge it. And I've challenged him on stuff. I pressed him on some of in my last podcast that I did with him, because I'm very much an ambassador of women in business. my wife has been, as I said to you, has been a massive support for me. And she's also a quantity surveyor. So she's worked for some big companies and project managed and done the cost management of some projects for Coca-Cola and some big projects. So she's been really useful in our business and my training, my property academy and my community. 50% of the people in it are women. So I am training thousands of women, empowering them and seeing them win. So when he turns around and says things like, I can't think of exact examples, but like women can't drive or basically, you know, they're not as good as men in business and they're not as, I don't really think that's that helpful, you know? So
yeah, I get your point. He's right in some ways, but not like
totally different.
Yeah.
Men and women are different for sure. And women have children and men don't. And men are stronger. If you put an average woman, an average man, and they're to fight, the man's going to come out on top, generally speaking. So I'm not trying to say men and women are the same, but there's some killers in our property community who are women, like some killers in business, some sharp killers. And I've got people in my team who are women and they're sharp killers. So, you know, so I pushed him on that a little bit, you know, so, but people might think it's because I had someone on my channel, oh, I must agree with everything they say, but I have many people on my channel that I don't agree with. I don't even agree with everything I've said in the last 10 years. I've changed my stance and stuff. So yeah, but no, I give my respect to Andrew. I think he's been through a lot. And
he's only been here now, I think 2 weeks.
Yeah, he was here a couple of weeks. And I think that in real life, meeting him, because I've met him many times, he's been nothing but punctual, polite, respectful, kind. Even to my wife. My wife, when she met him, she was like, oh, he's really nice, isn't he? It's not like what I expected.
It's only the outside, isn't it? The news, which make a person bad, don't they?
Yeah, exactly. So I've only really got good experience of dealing with Andrew. And I hope that he manages to get through, you know, all the convictions. And yeah, we'll see what happens. But he's been good to me, man. So I'm never going to say anything bad about Andrew Tate.
Why do you think he's so like massive in the social media? Why does it like he's a celebrity? You can say it.
Oh,
he's a massive. Yes, he's in all value entertainment. He goes to all the big podcasts. He's massive. Like anybody he talks amazing.
I think that's massive because I think that we're living in a generation where people are afraid to say what they think.
Yeah,
and I think that he isn't. He just says.
And if something happens or he's in jail, he should carry on.
Yeah, and I think people find that refreshing. And I think that's one of the reasons why Trump got in, because I think that people are sick to death of people being so vanilla, so politically correct that they won't say what they actually think. And when you get someone like Trump that just goes on stage, no teleprompter, no script, and just says what he wants to say, and speaks from his heart and says what he wants to say, I think people respect that. And I think Tate, the fact that he just says what he thinks, even if some of what he says is a bit off, you know, but the fact that he says it as he sees it and he's not afraid. So many people have got sponsorships, managers, brand deals, and as a result, they're all so squeaky clean and say the same thing. And you got someone like Tate that comes along and says, "No, man, it's I think buff," and it's like a curveball.
Yeah.
People, what? And people don't know how to deal with it. The schools are banning people from even saying his name. The social media. Oh yeah, you're not allowed to say Andrew Tate. It's like a swear word. Well, say Andrew Tate's name in schools. They ban it. Even like Mark Zuckerberg and these guys don't know how to deal with it. So Mark Zuckerberg obviously banned him, but then said, "Oh, actually no." And the world just doesn't know how to deal with someone who says what they think, which is mad.
So is he going to live here fully back in Dubai?
Is he what?
Is he going to live back in Dubai fully? Because I read and I saw an article on Instagram. He bought a villa for 100 million. No idea if it's true.
Yeah, well, that's probably not really for me to say. You know what his plans are. Yeah. But we'll see. We'll see what happens.
It was interesting, but that's what I meant. Also, like having such people, or these people, also having a podcast, spontaneous. Of course, yes.
He's spontaneous.
Spontaneous.
I messaged him on Monday or Tuesday. I can't remember the day. And I said to him, "Hey, what up? Are you? I see you in Dubai. How you doing? I'm in Dubai too." And he was like, "Oh, cool. Where are you? Whereabouts you staying?" Told him. And he was like, "Oh, cool, man. Yeah, I'll swing by in a couple of hours." And I was like, "Oh, well, okay." I said, "Do you want to do a podcast or whatever?" He's like, Yeah, we'll do a podcast. I don't know. And if I'd have said to him, "Should we do next week?" he would never have agreed.
Yeah.
He's fast, spontaneous.
Do it.
That's the same as when we booked that podcast in the first one, and then on the day, it didn't feel like it. I can see why, because you put so much energy into it. Like when you do a podcast with Tate, he'll be there for like 2 hours.
But that one was now, the recent one was 90 minutes, huh?
I think it was just over. I think it was about an hour and 40 minutes.
Yeah.
But he'll put so much energy into it in that. I can see why, if you booked it 2 weeks in advance, he might just be not feeling it. He's not getting paid. It's not like it's his job. He doesn't have to do it.
Yeah.
So, but yeah, he's spontaneous, and it was a great opportunity to meet with him again, do a new updated podcast. Afterwards, well, I've lost a lot of weight because he helped me with.
I saw that. Yeah, he was on the beginning of the interview. He talked about. So he was like the role model to say, "Okay, I'm going to lose weight."
Yeah.
But how much did you lose?
I lost 6 stone.
6 stone.
It was about maybe 40 kilograms.
Oh, 40 kilograms.
Yeah, a lot.
Horrendous. And you had this boxing as well, didn't you?
Yeah, I had fights.
Yeah, I saw that.
Yeah. So he was helpful, and he was WhatsApp me and stuff as well. And he was saying like, this was like years ago now after I first met with him, and he was like telling me intermittent fast and through the day just black coffee and only have 1 minute. I was like, oh, damn, okay, I'm just gonna do it now. I'm gonna do it.
And then you started doing it, and then you already saw it.
I've said these update pictures, and George's really funny as well. I didn't say this to him on the podcast, but I should have said this to him. But after about 3 months of me basically doing his diet and intermittent fasting, the black coffee and all that, I'd lost about 2.5 stone. And I thought, man, I'm looking good. And I took a picture of myself topless, and I'm like, I'm looking good, man. And I sent it to him, and I said, look, man, I've lost some weight. And I sent him the picture, and he was like, oh, looking good, man. Great job, G, you're looking great. But now when I look back at that picture, I was still really fat. So, and I'm like, man, what was I doing? Sending Andrew Tate this big fat picture of it. In my mind, I was looking, I'm looking slim, but I was still actually really fat. So, he was really supportive. I sent him my
the progress.
He probably hated it. He's like, dude, stop selling these features.
What do you think of I read a lot of your comments like a few weeks back, a month, and there were a lot, I don't know, you posted something and there were a lot of haters.
Yeah.
Writing about why you're writing about that person, this person, or you had some courses and didn't get any refunds back. Do you think when you get success that you always have the haters? They they write something bad about yourself?
I mean,
probably have always like a percent, 10%. Is it? What does it do with you? Do you is it got too hard, or you say?
No, I mean, if it's actual feedback from a customer, I don't think that I've not seen that one about refunds, because we get, I can't remember the exact stats, but
you never have 100% satisfaction.
No,
we don't even have that as well.
The amount of refunds, I could find the stats very easily, but it's like 1 in 100 or something like that. And then the actual, I have to check the stats, but the amount of people asking for a refund because they weren't happy with the quality of the training, over the whole of 2024, the stats was 0.2%. So, and if someone isn't happy and asking for a refund with my company, we'll often give a refund unless they're trying to take the piss. But if they've had to change circumstances or whatever. So, as far as general average companies go, our satisfaction rate is far higher than the average company. So, of course, there might be the odd person. But in terms of not talking about dissatisfied customers or investors, the same with investors, like the amount of people that actually put money into our deals and we've done business together and they've lost money is basically zero. Like, it just hasn't happened. But people just hating online, anonymous accounts and stuff like that. Yes, I get that, but I tend to kind of just disregard that.
We get more views, more comments, more views, more attraction. Eh? There's a positive effect in the end. Eh?
If it's customers that are saying, if it was like a customer or a tenant or an investor or a member of staff that were saying negative things online, I would take that extremely seriously. But if it's an anonymous account, I'd take it very lightly. I take it with a pinch of salt. So, does everybody get it? Probably. I mean, even the Queen, God bless her soul, when she was alive, that percentage of people would troll and hate her. Jesus said, if the world hated me, it will hate you. Martin Luther King was hated by many. Socrates was killed, and now we see him as a great philosopher. So yeah, if you're going to be great and make impact, if you're going to bring change, if you want to change culture and actually bring influence to people and make impact, there's going to be some people that you piss off. Might be people, the stuffy people from the industry that don't like the fact that you're disrupting things. But no, I don't take it personally at all, and it doesn't really bother me. What I do sometimes though is I do offer debate to people. So if I see people saying something, and I also address things. So if something's in the newspapers about me and it's not true, which has happened, I might sue them, or I might address it, or I might offer to debate with them. But that's more to protect my reputation than it is because I'm upset on a personal level.
You know the Instagram channel, I think it's Border Busted?
Ballbusters.
Ballbusters,
Like a Coffeezilla thing.
It's a YouTube channel.
Coffeezilla?
Yeah.
Yeah, he's like, he exposes what he thinks are fraudsters and scams.
What do you think about that? Like, if you would see yourself now into these channels, but like,
I think it's good that people run these types of channels because I think that it keeps people on their toes.
Is it all real? Sometimes it could just, like, for example, they could just talk about you, but maybe things are all true.
They could, and then they'd open themselves up for serious legal problems because you could sue for defamation. I think that it's good, man. I think they're putting people on their toes, and also keeping people accountable is a good thing. Where I don't think it's great, number one, I don't think it's great if you talk about someone but you wouldn't sit down with them. So if someone does a video about me but they wouldn't do a debate with me, like if you made a video about me and said Samuel Leeds is a bad person, he's bad at business, and he's a net negative for the property community and all this stuff, and I said to you, oh, you think that? Let's talk about it. Oh, no, I don't want to talk about it. I just want to talk about you, but not talk to you. I think that's weak. I think that's been a coward. So if anyone ever wants to do a video about me, I'll say, don't do a video about me. Let's meet and let's do a debate. And you can call me out, challenge me to my face, and at least give me a chance to defend myself. And I also think that sometimes they want to expose. If you do it for the right reason, I think it's a good thing. But sometimes I think where it can be a bad thing is if they're doing it to get views, and then they'd exaggerate or say things that aren't quite true. So, and I've been on the receiving end of that, and I've had to sue people, and I've taken people to court, and I've had all kinds of things happen. Even Coffeezilla. So Coffeezilla, he did a video about me, and I challenged him and said, let's debate. And he didn't respond, which I think is cowardly. I'm disappointed. But I like people challenging me. I like people calling me to account. And I don't think these types of people should be silenced. The only time I've sued people is if they've said something that's not true and damaging. If they're just saying their opinion and it's critical of me, then good. Cool. If they're saying something that's not true, then that's where like if someone says Samuel Leeds is really aggressive and shouts and he's so annoying and he said this and this and this, and actually I disagree because I think this, I'd love that. I'd be like, fantastic. But if someone says Samuel mistreats his tenants, that's not true.
Yeah.
Or Samuel is a fraudster or doesn't pay people money that he owes them. It's not true. It's never happened. So if someone said that, then I would sue them. So yeah, man, I think it's good. I'm all for people calling people to account. It's a good thing.
Well, for example, we go through the channel. There's like also Patrick Bet-David, Are You Entertainment? Started with the insurance industry. So they just talk about him, the pyramid system, just getting money, the money of the people, and it's not real and it's fake and stuff like that. That's how he made. I don't really understand it because he's successful. He made his money, so everything's okay, But they're talking bad about him that he made his money through that system. So
No,
it's like things you think like they expose something about it, and I think but then people believe it. It's interesting actually to sometimes. There's also two brothers here. They're in jail. They were doing drugs, because they were talking about them because
they're doing Amazon drop shipping. That's when they were doing drugs in Dubai. I heard
exactly. So they just like last few months they just come up so quick. Like they're doing the videos in the Formula One. They rented villas, private jets, stuff. You think the hell? I ask myself, how the hell can they make
drugs?
And then in the end,
do you know what though?
And then people believe that having success is so easy. That's the thing about the social media.
You know what though? It's good to be a bit skeptical, and that's one of the things about British people. Yeah. British people are so skeptical. If a British person sees you in a Ferrari, they'll think, "Who did you rob?"
Yeah, like in Germany, it's saying you do drugs. It's straight away.
Dubai, if they see you in a Ferrari in Dubai, they'll clap you.
Yeah, 100%.
Oh, respect.
Yeah,
respect.
Respect.
In England, I think,
what have
you done? Who you scammed? Or they'll think, he must have inherited it from his parents. Or I bet he's just renting it for the day. So in England, we're very skeptical, which I actually think is a good thing. But it's good to be a bit skeptical, but not too skeptical. You don't want to be so skeptical that you're just negative and don't ever do anything or applaud anyone. But at the same time, you don't want to be naive. The Bible says, I think it's the book of Proverbs, where it says, be as innocent as a dove, but as wise as a serpent or a snake. So I think having that balance between being a bit skeptical, but then at the same time, being open is a really good thing. So these expose channels, at least they make people think. So then if you see someone in a Lamborghini, just because they're in a Lamborghini, just because they're, saying the right things, do your due diligence, do your research. I think that's healthy.
Yeah.
What's not healthy is just to be pessimistic, toxic, negative, and just, think everything's a scam. But yeah, I think there's a place. There's a place for it. But if it's not true, you'll get sued.
Yeah.
You will get sued. You can't run all the people that have tried to run a business off exposing people, and that's all their videos.
Yeah.
They often end up getting sued and getting closed down. And in Dubai, you can go to prison for that. If you defame somebody in Dubai, you're gonna get put in prison. So maybe that's a good thing. Maybe we should be stricter in the UK.
The thing is, there's so many, like say these celebrities or influencers, they're coming to Dubai, aren't they?
Mm-hmm.
Why are they coming to Dubai? They feel safe, but they're following the rules at the end. But they can have a secret life here as well.
You can.
If you want to. But you don't have the paparazzi and stuff here. In the UK, it's crazy with the paparazzi.
Although Andrew Tate still was getting mobbed.
Free here.
Oh man, he was getting mobbed. Yeah, as soon as he got out of the car, people were woof.
Like mobbed in a bad way, a negative way.
No. People wanting pictures.
Okay, because everyone knows his face, huh?
Yeah.
And they know they're just waiting for him to come here.
Even like the private butlers and the staff, of the hotel. Bear in mind, it's a very nice hotel. They're very respectful of that. They were like wanting pictures and stuff with him. Yeah, he's next level of fame, though, isn't he?
Yeah, 100%. 100%. Well, last questions. Have you lost as an entrepreneur also like a lot of money in your past, like wrong investments? Maybe got scammed from people.
I have, yeah. I have been scammed. I wouldn't say I've lost a lot of money. Normally, because I'm in property business, when an investment doesn't go very well, normally it just doesn't make as much as you thought. Whereas if you're in the crypto business, you might put something in and then it might woof crasher. Whereas normally in property, you just spend a lot of time working on a project and you end up breaking even, and it's really annoying. So I've not lost loads of money in my deals. It's more time invested, and in property is more the emotional pain or having deals fall through at the last minute. But I'd say the deals that have lost me the most money were the deals that I didn't do. They were the deals that I almost bought, but didn't pull the trigger.
You didn't take the risk.
And now I look back and go, should have bought it.
And take the risk. Do it.
Yeah. Generally speaking.
Anyone who wants to start something these days or change their lives, grow personally, do business, what would you advise them to do? Like, what's the first step? Just do it, get a mentor.
Yeah, get a mentor, definitely. And find people that have done it and change your environment. Because, as I said earlier, if you're living in a little village or a little pub with all your friends and family and you're in a little bubble and everyone's poor and you want to get rich, change your environment, change your circles, and everything will change. And get a mentor, get trained. Don't think that you can become a doctor without going to medical school. And in the same way, if you want to become a business owner, you've got to actually learn, read books, attend seminars, and study and take it seriously.
Is it a shortcut to success?
100%. You're either going to pay for education or you're going to pay for your mistakes. One weighs ounces, the other tons.
Did school teach you a lot?
No.
Or would you have changed it and not gone to school?
I wouldn't say not gone to school at all.
Maybe just 2-3 years be enough. Eh?
Probably. I mean, I dropped out at 16.
Okay.
I could have probably dropped out at 14. It would have made it.
So you didn't do your GCC?
I did 2 GCSEs. Yeah, I did one in fact, no, 3. I did maths, English, and food and nutrition. And that was it. 3 GCSEs. Didn't even bother taking all the other tests and exams. Flunked out at 16. And became a multi-millionaire. So it worked all right for me.
So you were in the right track.
Absolutely.
Last question. Is your aim maybe to become a billionaire one day?
I think $1 billion, people don't realise how much £1 billion is. The difference between 10 mil, 20 mil and $1 billion is astronomical. So I wouldn't say my plans to be a billionaire. Not really. Because I don't think it would actually change my life at all. It's just a number. I've made and continue to make more money than I can spend. So there's no reason for me to become a billionaire.
Well, for example, you have a private jet? No, but you could have a private jet if you wanted to. Yeah. If you wanted to now, you could have one or fly.
No, but if I wanted to have a private jet, I guess, I don't know, how much is a jet?
A couple of million, depends on what jet you get.
Than that,
5 million?
10, 12 million. Oh, if I really wanted a jet,
yeah,
I could get a jet.
You could get one, yeah.
Yeah, I could. I mean, it'd be a bit of a stretch, to be honest. It wouldn't be an easy. It wouldn't be any, but if I really wanted a jet, I could get a jet. But I don't really want a jet because if I just came to Dubai.
You fly business or first class?
I found first class.
First class. You always fly first class or sometimes?
Sometimes fly economy.
Yeah.
If I'm going to Germany, I'll be very happy to.
Oh, isn't it?
If I'm going to Dubai,
yeah,
then I want to fly first, or maybe business, because that way I can sleep. I got a bed, sleep on the plane, but it's so easy. When you fly first, I live in Beaconsfield, which is about 20 minutes from Heathrow Airport. So get my driver, take me to Heathrow Airport, get out, walk into the airport, turn right, where you've got your little first class security. There's no queues because only it's first class. Not standing around. I'm through and I'm now in the nice lounge, having champagne, having a dinner with my missus. Get first on the plane, watch a movie, have a shower, go to bed with my Wi-Fi, do a bit of work. I'm sleeping with literally lying down in a bed, and then you wake up and you're in Dubai. So why would I want a private jet? The only time I'd get a private jet would be if I was traveling internationally a lot.
Maybe. Probably is, but not.
Maybe.
We go to do business in Dubai.
Maybe.
I
was flying a lot. If I was going, also in Africa, man, it's so difficult getting around Africa because getting from getting from Uganda to Zimbabwe, it's that will take 2-3 hours on the plane, but the planes are so irregular. You have to sometimes go to Kenya and go. It's madness. So yeah, if I was traveling around a lot, and I would have to be richer than I am now, I think, to be able to justify getting a jet.
Well, you can reach like Cadone. You can reach more people.
Yeah, you can.
And you will make more money again. Yeah, if that's your aim, to reach more people.
To be a billionaire, this is the point.
Yeah.
You don't need to be a billionaire to get a jet. £1 billion is
like have 100 million, 50 million.
Yeah, so it's 1,000 million. So my plan is not to try and make loads of money. No one will remember me because I was a billionaire. they'll remember me because I made a difference in their life. So my goal is to impact as many people as I can, not to make as much money as I can. And the money will follow. I'll take the money, but it's not really. It's not the main driving factor. It isn't the driving factor. I do, it's like right now, me and you on this podcast. Why am I on this podcast? Because I wanted to. I saw your channel. I wanted to come on your podcast. There would be other people that would be prepared to pay me. No, I don't want to. When I do my Andrew Tate video, someone said to me, "Oh, can I sponsor the channel? I'll give you 50 grand. And all you need to do is do this video." I don't want to. I don't do what I do because I'm after the money. I do what I want. I don't have sponsors. I don't do this. Maybe I should, because I also don't have jets. But I do what I want. And I follow my passion and my purpose and my calling, what God's called me to do. And I'm wealthy. And I buy a lot of properties. And I have hotels, my training business, I have my Samuel Leeds finance company. I just do what I want. I live life as if money was no objective. And then whatever happens, happens.
Nice one. But last question now. I can't stop. I can't stop. When you fly first class business economy, first class, I throw first class as well in business. Isn't it a difference? Because you sometimes
plane.
There's on plane, huh?
So for instance, Singapore Airlines, first class, you have to do.
Yeah.
Because you literally, you just have to.
It's better than Emirates, isn't it?
Oh, mate, Singapore Airlines, you have a proper bed and private toilet shower. Like, it is ridiculous. It's like a hotel room. You forget you're on a plane. You think you're in a hotel room. Whereas a lot of airlines, like British Airways.
Rubbish.
Well, no, British.
So it's not like, but it's not nothing. Not.
But you know what though? From my perspective, I'm not like a plane snob.
Yeah.
For me, all I really want is a bed. If I can put my seat down and properly lie down and have a little mat,
You're fine, huh?
it don't really matter. And you can do that generally in business. So, yeah, I'm not like a snob. I just want to be comfortable because I know if I fly economy, number one, it's unbearable. It's very, very horrible flying a long haul flight economy, and I'm not going to be able to rest or sleep, and I'm going to get a bad back, and then when I get to where I'm getting to, I'm going to have to spend probably my first day recovering.
Yeah.
Whereas if I can just sleep and enjoy the experience, it's just better. Yeah. So much nicer. I don't spend my money on trying to show off, actually. I don't spend my money on status symbols and fancy cars, watches, nothing. I'm chill. But what I do spend my money on is experiences, comfort.
Nice.
I don't mind spending a lot of money at the Atlantis Royal Hotel. I'm spending on it 2-3 grand a night. I'm happy to do that because it's the experience. I'm happy to spend money on first class. But I don't spend my money on material things. It's more experience and memories.